morning, everyone. I, Dr. Divya, on behalf of Lloyd Business School, welcome our eminent speaker, Dr. Divya Mishra, Associate Professor with Lloyd Business School, Greater Noida, all my faculty colleagues, and all the dear students who have joined this webinar today. Lloyd Business School constantly strives to build knowledge for its young managers by bringing industry expertise to classroom learning in order to bridge the gap between academia and industry requirements. And in order to abreast the future managers with the latest developments in the corporate world, Lloyd Business School has taken the initiative to conduct expert talk series called Enhancing Employability Skills for budding managers. And today we are having our fourth expert talk on planning and delivering effective presentations. Without much ado, I would like to introduce our guest for today. We are honored to have with us Dr. Divya Mishra, who is an expert in the field of communication skills, business communication, English, and soft skills. Ma'am is presently associated with Lloyd Business School, Greater Noida as an associate professor. Ma'am has more than 10 years of experience in teaching and trainings. She has completed her PhD and PG in English from University of Allahabad. She is also qualified NET in English. She has been an avid trainer and has conducted soft skills and leadership motivation trainings for students and government officers. I welcome you, ma'am. I would now like to hand over the session to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, just one help. Can you see this screen?
Yes, ma'am. I'm able to see the screen.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Good morning, students. I welcome you all to the session, Planning and Delivering Effective Presentation. Okay. Whenever we talk about presentation, there is a question in your mind, what is effective presentation and what is the need of presentation? So you all are going to be budding managers in just few years, like 1 or 2 years. So you should know the importance of presentation, how to prepare a presentation and how to deliver a presentation successfully. So first of all, you need to know what is a presentation. So presenting is a skill developed through experience and training. Nobody is a born speaker or born presenter. All right, this is a skill, something which you can learn and develop and become an expert in giving presentations. So when it comes to effective presentation, you must have a question in your mind, what is effective presentation? So there are certain prerequisites that you must keep in your mind while you are preparing presentation. You must know that if you have these things in your presentation, only then it is an effective presentation. So the first point is audience centered. Whenever we talk about presentation, your presentation must be audience oriented according to the needs and interests of your audience. It must fulfill audiences' expectations and interest, all right, audiences' needs. So it must be audience oriented.
Divya ma'am, sorry to intervene. The slide is not moving ahead. I'm still able to see the title slide.
All right, ma'am. 1 minute. Is it visible now, ma'am?
Still the title slide we are able to move now.
Okay, I'll reshare. I will disconnect and reshare.
Sure.
Ma'am, can you see the first slide now?
Yes, ma'am. It's the first title slide only.
Title slide only?
Yeah, the planning and delivering effective presentation title slide I'm able to view.
Okay.
Yes, now I'm able to see the second slide.
The problem is I'm getting some technical glitch. The moment I am putting in slideshow mode, it is not visible.
So maybe we can, just avoid putting in slideshow mode, and you can increase, the width from down below and present in the same.
Let me zoom it out. Can you see the second screen now, ma'am?
Yes, now it is presentation. Presenting is a skill developed through.
All right. Okay. Shall I continue now?
Sure, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So as I already told you that presentation is a skill developed through experience and training. Nobody is a born speaker. This is a skill that you can learn gradually and you can become an expert in delivering presentations. So you need to learn certain tips and tricks for making a presentation. All right. Then what is effective presentation? Effective presentation, like first you need to know that it should be audience centered. You must cater to audience's needs, expectations, likes and dislikes. Second important point, it should be simple yet significant. All right, do not try to write difficult words and difficult slides, difficult designs. It should be simple, elegant but significant presentation. And the third, accomplishes objective. Every communication has an objective behind this. Every presentation has an objective behind this. So make sure while you are giving presentation, you must fulfill that objective. Next point is interesting for audience and interesting for you. These two things are very important. All right, while you are preparing presentation, first you must be interested in that topic. If you are not taking interest in the topic which you are going to deliver, definitely the audience will feel the lack of energy and enthusiasm from your side. All right, so it should be interesting for you as well as interesting for the audience. And the last and the most important point is conducted within time frame. All right, timing is very important. All right, nobody would like to attend a very long presentation, so you should keep a track of time while you are giving presentation, and it must be conducted within time frame. Okay. Then there are four vital elements of presentation I will discuss later on. That is planning, preparing, and presenting the presentation. Okay, before that, you need to understand there are three key elements of presentation. And the first one, according to its importance, is audience. Second one is content, and the third one is presenter. You might be wondering that how audience can be of first importance, but your audience can make your presentation successful or failure. So that's why we put a lot of importance on audience. You start planning your presentation according to audience. You start preparing your presentation according to audience. All right. And while delivering your presentation also, your entire focus is on audience's needs, interests, likes, dislikes, expectations, and key takeaway. So audience is of foremost importance. Then comes the content. You design the content according to audience, and then the presenter. Then your role comes into the play. All right. Then you present the presentation before your audience according to their needs and expectations. These are the four P's of presentation that you need to remember. Whenever we have to give any presentation, the first stage is planning. Second stage is preparation. Third stage, and the most important stage, is practice. And the fourth stage is performance, that is the delivery of presentation. So we will discuss these steps one by one. What are the tips and tricks you need to remember while you are planning your presentation? So first stage is planning. I hope the screen is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am, I believe it's visible to everyone. Nobody has messaged so far. But now it is planning your presentation slide that you are showing us.
Yes, yes.
It's visible now.
All right, all right. Okay. At the stage of planning, the first key element is knowing your purpose, because every presentation has a purpose. All right, you want to inform your audience, or you want to persuade your audience, you want to convince your audience, or you want to inspire your audience. So any of the purposes you can have while you are planning your presentation. So you need to identify, why am I giving this presentation? You need to ask yourself before planning your presentation, I want to inform my audience, or I want to persuade my audience, or I want to inspire my audience. And according to the purpose, you will select the content, you will organize the content, and you will deliver your presentation. So knowing the purpose is of utmost importance. You cannot skip it. All right, your presentation will not be at all effective if you fail to find the right purpose of your audience. Suppose you have to persuade your audience, but you failed in persuading your audience because you had a lot of information, but you did not focus on convincing your audience. So that's why you need to know the purpose correctly. All right, whether you want to inform or you want to persuade, you want to educate, you want to inspire, you want to entertain, so you need to know the purpose. And sometimes these purposes can overlap as well. Suppose you are informing your audience as well as persuading your audience. All right, you want to inspire your audience as well as persuade your audience, as you can see in this image. So objectives can overlap as well. This is perfectly fine. And then the second key element of in the planning stages, knowing your audience. This is the most important point. As I already told you, three key elements. The first one is audience, second is content, and the third is presenter. So that's why a lot of focus is on audience in order to create a effective presentation and deliver an effective presentation. So first is analyzing your audience. You need to assess your audience. What is their need, expectations, interest, likes, dislikes? What is their expectation from you? So the first line, as you can see here, success depends on your ability to reach your audience. The more effectively you connect with your audience, the more successful your presentation will be. All right, so you need to connect with your audience. You need to understand how many people will be there. You need to analyze the size, demographics, that is age, race, culture, gender. All right, sometimes these demographics impact the mindset of the people. So that's why you need to assess all these things, analyze all these things before preparing your presentation, because we are still in the planning stage. Knowledge level is also very important. What is the knowledge level of the subject which you are going to deliver in your presentation? There might be different types of audience. Sometimes audience may have expert level of knowledge. Sometimes your audience may have managerial kind of knowledge, and sometimes you may have lay audience, those who do not have any knowledge of the subject. So accordingly, you will prepare the content and deliver. And what is the motivation level? Are they really interested in attending this presentation, or they have been forced to attend the presentation? This is also very important, and accordingly you will have to make your presentation interactive as well as interesting. Okay, once you have analyzed your audience, the second step is anticipating your audience's reactions. How would your audience react in this particular situation? How will my audience react if I present this particular example? All right, you need to anticipate it. If you are able to anticipate it correctly, so definitely your presentation is going to be successful. How will my audience react to this particular example? And make sure, why do we analyze our audience? So that we can ensure we do not offend anybody's emotions. All right, so we are not supposed to make any stereotypical remarks. We are not supposed to hurt anybody's emotion on the basis of caste, creed, religion, gender. These things must be avoided. And the third point, as you can see here, make appropriate adaptations. Once you are able to anticipate what kind of reactions your audience may give in future, so you will make appropriate adaptations. All right, you will change something, you will edit something, remove something, add something, all right, before delivering that presentation. So this first part is very important. Then analysis of occasion and space. This is also very important while you are in planning stage. How many seats will be there, seating arrangements, audio visual equipments which you can use at the time of presentation. Suppose you have you need mic, you need projector, but where you have suppose you are going to a place but there is no projector, no mic. All right, so at that time you will be anxious how to give presentation properly. So you need to find out all these things. And then, is there any distractor, like some kind of noise that keeps coming at the time of presentation? You also need to find out that. What is the day and time? This is also very important, because if you are giving presentation in the morning hours, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, your audience will be enthusiastic, energetic, all right, more active. While if the same presentation is being given during the late night hours, like evening or late night, at that time your audience may not have that kind of enthusiasm. So accordingly you will have to make your presentation interesting and interactive. And the nature of event and the duration, these 2 points are also very important. You are going to give presentation in a business event, or in any event that is related to politics or religion. All right, so you need to keep this in mind while you are planning your presentation. And then comes, once you are planning, the title selection is very important. Make sure the title must be appropriate, and it must convey the essence of your presentation. It must be appropriate and effective. Now, this is the second stage of presentation. Till now, we discussed what is the planning stage, what are the things we need to focus in planning stage. This is the preparation stage. Once you know your purpose and you know who is your audience, who is going to listen to you, now you are in a stage of preparation. Now you can gather the content, you can organize your ideas, you can organize your content. So the first thing is develop this central idea. Most of the time it happens that if any presentation gets failed, and then people come to know later on that they fail to focus on the central idea. All right, you should have 2 to 3 main points of your presentation that should be repeated throughout the presentation. That is called keyword reminders. All right, you should have 1, 2 or 3 main points, and then develop the main idea. You should expand that idea later on in while giving supporting material, while giving examples. So central idea and main idea is very important. Gather supporting material, and in order to make it more comprehensible, more interesting, more interactive, you can have some visual aids with that presentation that I will discuss later on. And then the last part is organizing the presentation. Once you have gathered all the content, you have main idea, you have supporting material, you have planned your visual aids, then you will organize your presentation logically. What information you are supposed to keep at first, what information you are supposed to keep at last, these things will be decided at this particular stage. Now, the presentation outline. Once you know that you have these many contents, all right, for your presentation, now you have to make the presentation outline. So while you are preparing presentation outline, these points you need to remember. First is keyword reminders. Sometimes people say that you should not repeat anything unnecessarily, but intentional repetition sometimes do wonders. So you should have 4 to 5 key points in your keywords in your mind throughout the presentation that you should keep repeating intentionally. All right, and conversational flow, you should not be very strict to what is written on the slide. You must maintain the conversational flow. All right, flexibility should be there, and more, it should be more responsive to audience. Okay, audience must feel that they are being heard, their interests and their needs are being catered to. So you must be responsive to your audience. And then what should be the presentation sequence? First, this is the most important part, or you can say the most crucial part of your presentation. Introduce yourself. Why should they listen? Why should they listen to you? What is special about you? There is a very wise proverb you must have heard that, let me quote it. Inform me, I forget. Show me, I remember. And involve me, I understand. So if you are just giving information to your audience, they are going to forget it. All right. If you are showing them in the form of image and graphics and videos and audios, definitely they are going to remember it. But if you are involving your audience, you get participation from your audience, at that time they are going to understand it forever. Definitely they will never forget it. So 2 things you need to focus upon. You need to show them something, and you need to involve your audience in the presentation. Then establish your credibility. How will you establish your credibility? Why should they listen to you? You can use your experience in your introduction. You can tell them your expertise, your skills, all right, your position, your organization, in order to establish credibility. And then get attention and build rapport. In order to get attention, you can make your introduction quite interesting. You can use anecdotes. You can start with a quote. You can start with an example. You can invite participation while you are starting your introduction. All right, so the basic funda is you need to build rapport with your audience before starting your presentation, because starting is very crucial. If you have a hold of your audience in the beginning of presentation, definitely you are going to rock the show. But if you fail to hold your audience in the beginning, nobody is going to listen to you and nobody is going to pay attention. So you should Always try to make your introduction very interesting. And these are the various ways of making your introduction interesting. You can make sensible humor. I will repeat it, sensible humor. You can introduce your topic by sharing a short story, or you can show them some startling statistics, some survey, or you can make your audience think or imagine something. You can give them any situation and they will start thinking, and then you can ask them questions. You can also invite participation from them, some rhetorical question you can ask. You can also tell them some quotation, and the last point is bold statement. You can also say some bold statement. All right, why bold statement? Suppose I am saying the very first statement that you say before giving your presentation can make or break your presentation. This is something bold. Okay, so such kind of statement you can give in order to catch the attention of your audience. Once you have got the attention of your audience, then you can go on with your presentation. Then after introduction, what should be the main content? That is the heart of your message. What should be the body of your presentation? You need to explain the main points and try not to beat around the bush. All right, try to state important points. It should be divided into headings and subheadings, and also in order to make it more comprehensible and interactive, you can use images. All right, you can use audios as well, videos as well, graphics, flowchart. These can be used in order to increase the understanding of your message. And then the last part, the concluding your presentation. As you can see here, it should be as impressive as the beginning. Don't ever underestimate your conclusion part. All right, you most of the time what happens, people focus on only introduction, but introduction and conclusion both are very crucial. You need to make it as impressive as the beginning was, and inform your audience that you are about to close. Don't end your presentation abruptly. Inform them that you are about to close, so that if they want to ask any question, they can prepare it. All right, you summarize main points. And the third point is very important here, something to remember or call to action. Okay, what do you want your audience to remember or do after this presentation? So key takeaways, try your level best so that your audience should have a memorable key takeaway from your presentation. All right, and the last part is answer questions after presentation. Suppose you have to give 30 minutes presentation, so 20 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for question and answer session. All right, so try to answer everybody's questions if they have any. Okay, so we have discussed planning and preparing part, and in these planning and preparation part, these three T's are very important. I will request you all to remember it always. The first T is tell what you are going to tell. That is the introductory part. Tell it, that is the main part of your presentation, and tell them what you have told them means it should be repetitive. Tell them what you have told them. That is the last part of your presentation. So these three T's are very important. And then the third stage of your presentation and the most crucial stage, practice. Most of the time what happens that students forget this stage, or they take it for granted that this is not very important stage. But let me tell you, the more you practice, the more efficient presenter you become. There is no shortcut. You need to practice a lot, rehearse repeatedly, practice thoroughly, and then give presentation. Only then you can give effective presentation. So in the practice part, you need to rehearse this repeatedly. Timing is also very important. While you are rehearsing, you should keep a track of timing, all right, so that you do not exceed the time limit, and recreate the environment. This is also very important. Sometimes, or you can say, 90% people have stage fright when they give presentation. So recreating the environment is definitely going to help you at the time of presentation. Okay, how can you recreate the environment? Imagine yourself, you are standing in the seminar hall where you're supposed to give presentation, or in auditorium, and then imagine audience is sitting in front of you and you are speaking. So you will recreate the environment in order to gain confidence and overcome stage fright. Okay. And then what are the tips and tricks for effective presentation? Let's discuss Three elements are very important. The first one is vocal techniques. See, what you say is important, but how you say is also very important, definitely. So you need to focus on loudness, pitch, rate, pause, give it a pause while you are speaking. Make an important word is punctuate your expression, all right, while you are speaking. Comma, full stop, exclamation mark, question mark must be visible, all right, audience must feel it. So you must apply these vocal techniques. Body language, that is this is also very important. How you are maintaining eye contact, posture, how you are moving, how you are standing at the time of presentation, and what kind of gestures you are using. Don't try to overdo your gestures. Do not plan it intentionally, but it should be extemporaneously, right? It should come from within. So try to have a minimum number of gestures, and try to maintain eye contact throughout. Okay. And then use of space. Can everyone see you? You should ask this question yourself, that can everyone see you? Are you visible to everyone? If not, then try to correct your place where you stand. And this is the common problem while you give presentations. Some verbal fillers like like, these verbal fillers you may remove if you practice it a lot. And how will you come to know that these are verbal fillers? You should record your presentation and then listen to it, and then try to find out what are the verbal fillers which you speak unintentionally, and try to rectify it. And then swaying, rocking, and pacing. You might have seen many people keep moving like this, doing like this while giving presentation. So it should be avoided. You should not have your hands in pockets while giving presentation. Lip smacking, fidgeting, like you might have seen many people using pen and tick, 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 tick kind of sound, all right, and doing like this. And these kind of things must be avoided. And failure to be audience centered. Sometimes you get so engrossed in giving presentation that you fail to connect with your audience, all right? So make sure you are able to connect with your audience. 5 presentation tips that you must remember. Smile. Smile can rectify any problem. You can overcome any problem with a good smile. So start your presentation with a smile. Have long breathing, breathe, relax, and then start. If you are feeling very nervous, take a sip of water, then start your presentation. You can also have notes with you while you are giving presentation, so that you assist yourself whenever you are stuck. And the last point is finish on or within time. This is also very important. You need to keep a track of your timing and try to finish your presentation within time. Creating effective visual aids. Visual aids will enhance your understanding. It will add variety. It can have lasting impact on the mind of the receiver. And you can also illustrate complex ideas with the help of visual aids. Okay, these are the examples of visual aids: PowerPoint slides, graphs, charts, pictures, films, videos, flip charts, sketches. So you can take help of any of these in order to make your presentation interesting. See, you can see this slide, the first slide and the next slide. The two slides are side by side, and as you can see, the first slide, the first picture seems obscure. All right, it is not legible because of the color combination and the font style and the design. In the second slide, everything is clearly visible. Heading is clearly visible. Points are clearly visible. Color combination is perfect. So the first slide is before revision, and the next slide is after revision. All right. So you should try to make slide like this. You can also see the next picture. The first picture is before revision and the second picture is after revision. If you can see it closely, in the first picture, the heading is not that catchy and interesting. Okay. In the second picture, the heading is very interesting. And talking about the sub points, you can see here, second point and the sixth point both are quite same. Okay, conveying the same thing. So that's why we have eliminated this point in the next picture. Okay, so you need to make your writing, whatever you are writing in your presentation, the content must be clear, concise, concrete, and correct. Do not try to repeat anything which you have written, all right? Try to convey your information in as minimum words as possible. You should have only 3 to 4 points in one slide. What are the points to remember? Begin with a pause, take a deep breath, relax, and then start your presentation. Present your first statement from your memory. Don't start your presentation by reading it out, whatever you have written in your presentation. You should memorize it and then start it. Maintain eye contact. It will show that you are confident. The audience will also have confidence in you. Control your voice and vocabulary. Make sure you do not use any word that is inappropriate, and you should also control your pitch, rate, and tone. Dress appropriately. You must dress professionally and speak extemporaneously. Do not speak only what is written in your slide. All right, it should come from within. Use examples, use some scenarios, use some stories in order to make your point understand. And this is the most important problem that every student goes through: stage fright. The students say that, ma'am, whenever we come on stage, we lose our confidence, and then we get stuck and we are not able to speak. So this is something everybody faces. So you are not supposed to worry about. The only thing is you need to practice in order to become perfect in presentation. All right. So these are the tips and tricks you need to follow. Prepare thoroughly, rehearse repeatedly. These 2 points are very important. All right, without preparation and without rehearsal, you can never become an expert. All right, so prepare thoroughly and rehearse repeatedly. Reach early. Sometimes when you reach late, your heartbeats get increased. All right, you start sweating and you lose your confidence. So it's better you reach early. Breathe deeply, speak slowly. Convert your fear. How can you convert your fear? Sometimes you get anxious, sweaty hands, and dry mouth, and you start fumbling, trembling. So you need to convince yourself that you are having these symptoms just because you are over enthusiastic. All right. So you need to create positive energy around you. Use simple language. If you use simple language, definitely you will be more confident. Do not try to use difficult words and difficult terms in order to make it impressive. Use positive self-talk that you are going to rock the show, you are going to give best presentation, audience is with you. Stay hydrated, keep taking water, ignore any stumbles. All right. Even if to err is human, even if you make any mistake, do not repeat it, do not apologize for it. All right. You just keep going. Audience will forget in just 2 to 3 minutes. All right. So you should ignore any kind of stumble. So these are the tips and tricks you need to follow when it comes to effective presentation. Okay, that's all. Now if you have any question, you can ask me.
Thank you so much, Divya ma'am. We do have a lot of questions for you. So let me put the first one, which Anjali Gupta is asking, and she says, "What to do if I don't know the answer of a question that somebody is asking?"
Okay. All right. So see, you need to focus, you need to be that prepared that you know all the answers related to the presentation. Otherwise, you need to manage this particular situation. All right. It should not happen that you do not know the answer. Okay. Try to convince your audience by giving answer which is related to that question. You may not know the direct answer, but you try to convince that person by giving some examples related to that particular question. All right, and try to manage the situation. Do not say that I'm sorry, I do not know the answer. All right. And then next question is
Thank you, ma'am. It says that it's by Naveen, and he says that is dressing sense makes any impression on audience while presenting?
Yes, it definitely does. All right, that's why you should dress professionally while you are giving presentation. Okay, depending upon if you are going for making a business presentation, your attire must suit to the corporate industry. All right, if you are going to any other kind of presentation, you must dress yourself accordingly, because whether you agree or not, but you will be judged on the basis of your dressing sense. So it must be appropriate according to the occasion.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more question. It is from Rishabh. He says, "Can we include some comedy videos to attract audience?"
Sorry, ma'am. Can
He
we?
says that can we include comedy videos to attract audience?
Okay, but it should be sensible humor. You can, but it should be sensible humor, something related to your presentation. All right, you can also, you can add that, but it should be something related to the presentation. You just cannot use any comedy video in order to entertain your audience. It must be related to that, so that you must give a message after that comedy video. Okay, that can be used.
Ma'am, students are asking and they're requesting if you can please tell them the 3 T's that you spoke about. Three
All right.
T's.
All right. Wait. These 3 T's are tell, tell, and tell. Okay. Let me show it to you. The first tell is tell what you are going to tell. That is the introduction part of your presentation. Okay. And then tell it. That is the main part of your presentation. Okay. And then tell them what you have told them. I already told you that introduction, your conclusion must be as impressive as the introduction. So the last part, that tell them what you have told them, is very important. You need to summarize whatever presentation you have given in last 30 minutes. Okay. That suppose you can say like that, in the last, I would like to remind you that we have discussed these many points. So this, the third thing will be covered in this particular statement. Okay. So first tell is related to the introduction part. The second tell is the main part of your message. And the last, the tell them what you have told them, it's related to the conclusion of your message. Okay. Is it clear now?
Thank you. Yes, I believe it is clear to everyone. One more question, ma'am. Naman is asking that what shall we do if the audience is not at all interested in the presentation?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question?
Naman says that if the audience is not at all interested, then in that case, what shall be done?
That is really difficult situation. That's why audience analysis is very important before planning and preparing presentation, so that you are ready for any kind of situation. Okay, if audience is really not interested, you need to invite participation, conduct some activity. You need to behave extemporaneously, like you, though you may not have planned something, you need to plan an activity for 2 to 3 minutes instantaneously. All right, so that you can invite more participation. Somehow you have to manage your audience. You just cannot escape the situation. All right, you cannot leave your presentation. You need to make them feel interesting. So for that sake, you can invite participation, you can conduct any activity, or you can ask them some questions so that they think and then they give you answer. Somehow you have to manage the situation. Okay, ma'am, is there any other question?
Yes, ma'am. The last question I will be taking from Soumya. She says, what should be the minimum time for the presentation?
Minimum time as per expert, it should be 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes for presentation. You must, while you are showing slides, that you must follow the rule of 20 minutes. Okay, but also depends upon what kind of presentation you are giving and where you are going to present. Sometimes when you prepare presentation and the host where you are going to give presentation, they give you time that you have to give your presentation for 40 minutes or 45 minutes or 30 minutes, then you need to abide by those rules and regulations. However, according to experts, if you are giving presentation on your own as per your choice, it should be not more than 20 to 25 minutes. Otherwise, audience will start getting bored and there will be no use of presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Most of the questions we have answered. For few, I have, answered based on what you were saying. And I think most of them are repetitive questions. And also, I would like to inform all the students that next week also, we'll be having a webinar, which will be consisting of communication and the body language. So many of you were asking questions about body language, postures, and gestures. So it will be taken care by, Mr. Behfeen next week in the webinar. Thank you so much, Divya, ma'am, for such a lovely session. I hope that today's expert talk on planning and delivering effective presentations would have helped all the students gain knowledge about how to plan and deliver an effective presentation, which is a critical employability skills that we need to enhance and work on. I would like to thank on behalf of Lloyd Business School, our guest, Dr. Divya Mishra, for taking out time from her busy schedule and guiding us to this. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you everyone for joining. We will see you soon in another interesting session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.